There was a different spirit down at the South Waterfront tonight. It was much more antagonistic and it was much more targeted. It was specific individuals going after specific targets. Um, I've been down there a number of times and it's never felt like this. So I think there's something just under the surface that is just dying to get out. And I think the thing that is really keeping um, these leftists at bay is they really want to be let off the leash, but they can't because Portland Public Police is there. Um, but tonight was a different feel in that it felt more personal and yeah, it just felt different. Maybe I'm not articulating as best I can, but I think all of us felt it tonight. It was different. So I want to talk about where I believe it's coming from, why it felt different tonight. And I think it's because they're losing the battle of optics. I think they're losing support at a rapid pace. Whether they realize it or not, Antifa is not popular in America. Okay, it's not 2016 anymore. People aren't ignorant about what they do, who they are, and what they're about. People are not ignorant to the fact anymore that simply because they call themselves Antifa, that does not mean that they're anti-fascist. I have tried numerous times to get these people to successfully define and articulate what fascism even is. They can't do it. So they call themselves anti-fascist, but their diagnosis of what is and is not fascism is completely incorrect. It's off base. And so largely what we're left with is a bunch of children throwing around a word that they don't understand, but insisting that they do know what it means. And it doesn't matter who I talk to. It doesn't matter if I talk to Chandler, spoke to him for an hour and a half. He didn't know what fascism was. I've spoken to a number of people with masks that they're so confident in what it is they believe, and they're so certain. But I ask them one question, and they're completely lost. I go off script just a little bit, and they got nothing. So they're losing. They're losing, and I think they know it. I don't think the inflatable costumes are doing them any good optically. I think that's run its course. They're just dancing and they're just no. We know why you're wearing the costumes. It's because you don't want to get identified, and it's also to help with pepper spray a little bit. That's why. So they're like an animal that is being backed into a corner. And you can really feel it when you confront them on the streets. You get to feel there's a desperation there. It's like they know that they're being surrounded and the walls are closing in on them, and they don't know what to do. Like a scared animal, they lash out, and I've heard them call Black City Preacher and the Black Rebel the N-word. That these people are supposed to be against racism, yet they're perfectly okay with it when it is a useful utility that they can use to silence, to intimidate. These people don't have any morals whatsoever. Okay, I don't care how much I hate somebody. I am never, I hate more than I can explain. I hate the N-word. I can't stand it. So when I see these self-professed anti-racists using a word that just should never be used, we should just stop using it. But they're perfectly capable of using it when it's a useful tool in their belt to gain power, to silence, to intimidate. So that tells me they're getting desperate. When they're abandoning their own principles, that's how you know they're getting desperate. So that feeling that we're getting, that's what that is. It's them getting desperate, them getting backed into a corner, and they know it. And I think it's only going to get worse because Antifa is not popular. People don't like it. People don't want this stuff. Trump won based on largely immigration. It's a 90-10 issue. And they know it. You know, they're not quite as stupid as you might think. They do have brains and they do think about things. And I think they know that, yeah, they're definitely losing popularity. And they don't know what to do. And I didn't see Chandler out there tonight. I didn't see any sort of strong-willed leadership. That's really a big advantage that we have over them, is they don't really have leadership. And I think that there is something, because you could say that there's advantages and disadvantages to that, but I think that the disadvantages in not having leadership outweighs the potential leadership, because really leadership, if someone takes that position, that role, they're ultimately responsible for who they are leading, what they do and say. And the left are all over the place. You have everyone from just democratic socialists who just want more government subsidies for commodities and services, but then you actually have Marxist, Leninist, communists out there who, yeah, they want to overthrow capitalism. So they're kind of all over the place. And so trying to get a single leader to lead all of them is very difficult. And so I think it would be advantageous for us to have some type of leadership, because what I see largely are a bunch of people showing up, and that's fantastic. But we're all sort of rudderless. We are there for our country and for Christ, which is fantastic. But you do need someone who says, hey, let's go do this thing. Or a good example or a great quality of a leader is to be able to put the words to the thoughts that people are having. You know you're a leader when someone goes, this guy speaks for the rest of us. That's a leader. And that's a natural, that's an organic leader, right? It's not sort of not a force, but it's a lead by example. And I think that our group could really benefit from that. And I don't know who that would be, because it does take commitment to do that. That's not an easy thing to take on. So I just think that's just my thought. I think if there was a more of a leadership, I think we could accomplish more. But I mean, again, if you're just showing up and you don't know what else to do other than to show up, God bless you. Happy to have you. So please don't stop. And I think that we can only get better from here. We can only become more galvanized. We can only become more focused. We can only become more no, not the right word. More convicted. We can only become more convicted. So I guess what I'm saying is yeah, we do need some sort of leader down at the waterfront, and I don't know who that would be, but whoever just naturally takes on that role, I think that'd be a great thing. So we'll see. But that's just my thoughts on tonight. Tonight was a little crazy. Got pepper sprayed. That was fun. Um, had a fight with Travis. That was fun. Um, also met a lot of great new people. Hearts for Christ. Love it. That's why I'm down there. Is for my love of Christ, my King, and the order that he represents. So that's all I got.